This is the one tip that I'm going to give anyone who is wanting to get over their ex. Well, what is up, my dear friend, and welcome back to the Happy Heart Academy podcast. I am your host, Tyler Joe Stratton, and today we are talking about the single most important tip that you must implement into your life if you want to get over your ex, overcome that divorce, overcome that heartbreak, overcome that time of singleness. Listen, if you do not implement this one piece of advice into your life, then you're not going to see the great change take place in your heart. And I want you to see that great change to take place in your heart so that you can feel that peace, so that you can move on, so that you can reclaim your life and find your happiness after heartbreak. And I believe once you choose to implement this piece of advice into your life is going to say change absolutely and tremendously, significantly, and in a manner that's going to make you feel happy and fulfilled. But listen, welcome to the Happy Heart Academy, my friend. I am just so grateful that you are here. I want to just take this time to say thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for doing the work that it takes in order to heal your heart, to stop the hurt people cycle, to begin to heal your heart so that you can heal other people's hearts. It's a beautiful concept. I want you to heal so that you can take your healing and begin to give it away to other people. It's a beautiful gift. It's a beautiful blessing, and you deserve that blessing, and other people deserve that blessing as well. And the way that we stop having terrible relationships, the way that we stop absorbing ourselves into a low quality life is by building a better relationship that we have with ourselves, right? So listen, that's what this podcast is really about. It's about helping you to live more joyfully from your heart rather than your hurts, so that you can begin to equip yourself with the right mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set to move on, to move forward in a life that is meaningful, purposeful, significant, and important to you. And I just want to say thank you for joining me today. Now, before we start on today's episode, I want to just say, listen, if you're still struggling to move on, struggling to create happiness, struggling to move yourself away from the pain and into your heart, move yourself out of the hurt and into your heart, and you feel like you've tried everything, you've tried going to the gym to get over them, you've tried hanging out with your friends, you've tried hooking up with random people, you've tried church, you've tried therapy, and you just still feel stuck. I know, because I've been there. I've tried the gym, I've tried hanging out with friends, I've tried going out and hooking up with people, I've tried going to church, I've tried therapy, I've tried all of these things, but none of them seemed to work that well. It was more of just like a band-aid, temporary band-aid that oftentimes fell off in the shower and the wounds opened back up. Listen, if you're still there and you still feel stuck, be sure to check out the Happiness After Heartbreak free training. The link is in the show notes below, and there you're going to learn what you can begin to do and what you can begin to focus on, more importantly, during this time of singleness, so that you can move on and create a sense of happiness in your life and relationships moving forward. Because one of the things about moving on and reclaiming your life and finding happiness is understanding what you should be focusing on in this time. There's certain things that you're currently focusing on that's not helping you heal, and there's certain things that you're focusing on that you need to double down on that's going to help you heal. So if you want to begin to heal and move on and create happiness and find your joy in your singleness, be sure to check out that free training, because once again, you are going to discover so many different things, but the main thing that you're going to discover is what you should be focusing on right now. And then you're going to also understand the three things that oftentimes keep many people stuck in their heartbreak. And once you identify those three things, what it's going to allow you to do is be like, oh, I see, I have been doing that, and that's why I'm staying stuck. It's just going to liberate you, and you need that liberation because you deserve happiness. So, my friend, now on to today's episode, because we are here to talk about the one tip to get over your ex, your separation, your heartbreak, or divorce. I just want to say that you're not alone. I've been there in your pain. I've walked in your shoes, and that's why I'm doing the work that I'm doing today, to help you move through this, to help you create a sense of happiness, sense of worth, a sense of growth, a sense of, hey, you're doing good, kid. We're making it through. This heartbreak is going to turn into happiness, and this breakdown is going to be the greatest blessing and breakthrough that I've had in years. Because right now you're sitting at a crossroad, whether you recognize it or not. You can choose to continue to suffer and stay stuck, or to grow and to move on with your life And I'm hoping that you're choosing the latter of the two. But the one tip that I want to give you if you're struggling to get over your divorce, your heartbreak, your separation, I've been helping hundreds of people from all different ages and backgrounds to be able to get over their ex in under 90 days, to heal, to reclaim their happiness, to let go of the pain so that the pain stops controlling them. I've been helping people be able to rebuild a better relationship with themselves and ultimately create a hope-filled future, one that excites them, that removes them from the painful past and puts them in a positive present so that they have hope to look forward to in the future. And one of the things that I most often find surprising is this. The reason why you're feeling stuck is because you have to be willing. More so, you have to be committed to getting over your ex and not just wanting to get over your ex. A lot of you come to me and say, Tyler, I want to get over my ex. I want this pain to stop. I want. Well, listen, I want, $4 billion. I want the Maserati. I want, whatever. We all want things, right? And I'm not saying I actually want those things, but I'm just being sarcastic here. We all want things, right? Truthfully, we all want things. We want a better health. We want better bodies. We want better mindset. We want better finances. We want better relationships. We want better love. We want better. Everything must be better. I want. But a lot of the times we don't get the things that we want because wanting something and committing to something are two different things. So ideally, how do you know if you actually want this to actually work or get over your ex, or you're actually committed to getting over your ex? Well, ideally, the first big idea here is wanting to get over your ex is a good indication of this is when I come to you and I ask you, well, if your ex comes back, are you going to try to fix things and get them back together? Like if your ex walks back in your life and says, hey, I'm sorry. Hey, I was wrong. Hey, I love you. I miss you. I want you back. Are you going to fold and give in and take them back? Or are you committed to your decision? Be like, listen, I wish the things didn't play out the way that they did, but I'm committed to my healing and to my growth. And I know that I have hope that there's someone else better out there for me. And going back to the place that hurt me is not the thing that's going to heal me. See, the difference is that a lot of you are willing to take your ex back if they come to you back and come back into your life. And this is keeping you stuck because you haven't made a committed decision to actually move on. So the difference here, everyone wants to get over their ex. Everyone wants the pain to end, but not everyone is willing to commit to actually doing the work that it takes to actually move on, to actually heal, to actually find happiness, to create a sense of joy, to create that breakthrough, to create that transformation, to create that better quality of life, and this is where most people get stuck. But this is where, as your heartbreak recovery coach, this is where I oftentimes help people move through this difficult time. I'm your accountability buddy. I'm your heart size. I'm your commitment. The commitment is the key to overcoming this difficult time where you feel stuck. So here's the difference between wants and commits. Ideally, wanting to is more of a feeling. It's a feeling because we feel it, like we feel like we want to move on. That doesn't mean we're going to move on. Because I feel like I want to get healthy doesn't mean I'm going to go to the gym. When I feel like I want to have that six pack, I don't do the work required. I eat the potato chips because they're so delicious. You see, commitment is a constant, conscious choice. And that's one that you have to make. Commitment is saying that you're going to do it and sticking to it no matter what. That's the bond of my marriage. And although my marriage is young, my commitment level is not. It's very mature. You see, when I took the oath, when I swore before God and everyone there, I have an uncommittable bond to my wife that I'm not going to ever give up on. Now, if she gives up on it, that's another that I don't have control over that entirely. But I know that I'm not in this to have I just want to get married. No, I'm committed to getting married, and I'm committed to being a married man. There's a difference here. You see, so commitment is a constant choice. It's a constant conscious choice. This is just like any other goal that you might have in life. You have to choose daily to get over your ex. Right now, you're choosing certain things that are not actually helping you heal, and they're keeping you stuck. Right now, you might be choosing different escapisms, different suppressions, different expressives, ways that you're expressing your heartache and heartbreak. You might be sleeping around. You might use drugs, alcohol. You might be watching porn. You might be doing all of these different things that are not going to equal out to your healing. You might be suppressing it. You might just be ignoring it and keeping yourself busy enough to basically ignore it and not have to deal with it and think that you're actually healed, but it's a false healing. Or perhaps you're even escaping from it. You're doing things in your life that constantly are distracting you from actually doing the work that you need to do, which is escapism, is your ability to escape from your reality. I was very good at that. And ideally, it never equaled out to long-term everlasting healing, my friend. And so if I were to tell you to make a committed decision, a committed choice, it's a matter, a commitment is just constant choices to consciously show up and make sure that you are doing the work that you must in order to actually move on. So you have to choose daily to get over your ex. And how many of you are choosing to get over your ex? How many are you still trying to reach out to your ex, stalking your ex? How many are you still are trying to question whether or not you should text them when you miss them? How many of you are still trying to do your investigation work, seeing who they're with, where they're at, what they're doing, all of those things, and checking in on them? These sense of actions, my friend, are not going to help you actually heal. Wake up a little bit, right? Like, I know you're smarter than that. I know that you know this. But are you willing to commit to doing the work that it takes so that you can have the result that you truly want? Or perhaps you don't truly want it. That's part of the problem here. But you got to just understand that if you want to get over someone, you have to commit to getting over them. And what that simply means is you have to do the constant conscious work on a day-to-day basis. You have to commit to being honest and stop living in a false nightmare. Yes, it does hurt. It hurts that your ex left, and you just can't seem to change things, and you can't seem to win them back. But that doesn't mean that everything with them was perfect, right? Like, your past relationship with them was more so of you probably ignoring red flags rather than in accepting red flags and in selling yourself to this short-term way of being. Like, you basically sold yourself why these red flags are not red flags and why they're actually yellow flags or green flags, or you just completely ignore them. Everything in that past relationship was not perfect, because if it was, you'd two still be together. So stop selling yourself on that lie. It's not going to help you to get to your goal, which is to move on and to get over them, right? If you continue to live in this false nightmare that you had everything perfectly, he was the perfect match, she was the perfect match, I'll never find anyone better. Yeah, I've heard it, but it's not the truth. I've heard it, but it's not the truth. You will. I did. Many, many millions of people have as well. You're not the first one to go through a heartbreak. You're not the first one to feel like you're completely lost, alone, and confused, and feeling like you'll never find another. There's so many fish out there, right? Come on now, give yourself some hope. So listen, you have to also make sure that you're committed to seeing them as they are. This is so important. You got to make sure that you commit yourself to seeing them as they are, not as you remember them or wish they were. It takes commitment to focus on the facts, not the made up version of the facts that your mind created. Are you following along? Okay. Like, you have to make sure that you are committed to seeing them for who they truly are, not who you wish they were, not who you created them to be, but who they truly are today. And it takes actual commitment, constant choosing of thought to focus on the facts that they're not made up and they are actual truth. That's what a fact is. It's truth, right? So ultimately, take off the rose-colored glasses, my dear friend. Stop selling yourself they are the perfect partner, perfect fit, and you messed it all up and you could have did 101 different things differently. That's not going to serve you. That's not going to help you move on. That's not going to help you create a sense of happiness after this heartbreak. So you've got to understand that the story that you're telling yourself is oftentimes the story that's keeping you the most stuck. So stop telling yourself that story and begin to reclaim what is yours, which is your story in your life. My friend, if you commit on a daily basis, a day-to-day basis of a constant choice and in a constant commitment, you will be over your ex in 90 days or less, no doubt in my mind. But you have to make sure that you make a constant, conscious, committed decision to get over your ex. And doing that, how you know that you're doing that by taking daily actionable steps that can actually help you to move on. So listen, if you're like, well, Tyler, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Well, listen, book a call with me. Let's book a call. Check out the free training and get on my calendar, my friend, because this is where we're going to uncover to help you to understand what's working, what's not working, point you in a better direction, get some clarity so that you can finally be like, hey, I've got some control over this. I'm feeling a little bit better. Tyler's helping me, and I am here to help love, lead, and serve you in every way I can. But listen, just don't forget to make a committed decision. The want-tos is not going to help use. Okay. The want-tos is not going to help use. You've gotta make sure you're committed to it. Commitment is the secret here. Okay. Now that you know the secret, you should be fine on your way. No, listen, hey, my dear friend, I just want to say thank you for being here. And I'm looking for some help. Listen, you can't get what you don't give. You can't receive with a closed fist, and you can't give with a closed fist. If you're open to receiving, then I ask you to open up your fists to an open hand and an open heart, and to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to this at, to help this podcast move up in the rankings so that it can be found, so that it can be heard, so that we can all together stop the hurt people cycle. Listen, share this message out if you find it helpful, supportive, encouraging, and or uplifting, and be sure to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you currently listen to this podcast at, because that would help me greatly to continue to reach more lives, save more lives, and to heal more lives. And I can't do it without you. This is not just a one-way street. This is a lot on one person's shoulders, but I know through the power of people and through the power of help, we can help each other heal, grow, learn, and evolve into a higher, healthier, happier, more loving individual. And I'm here to support that. So, my friend, listen, you've got this. It's a day in, day out, constant committed process that you must choose to recommit to moving on. And if you need help, be sure to check out the free training below and book a call with me, as we will jump in together and discuss what you can do today, get some clarity, and help point you in a direction that can help you to move forward. My name is Tyler Joe Stratton. I'm your Heartbreak Recovery Coach, and this is the Happy Heart Academy podcast.